All right. Today is Thursday, March the 2nd, 2023, and we're here with Mr. Hauser, Chris Hauser. So if you guys have any questions, hit *6 on your phone and we'll call on you. There we go. All right, so we'll start with 541 area code. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello there.
I was getting an automated voice on the phone when you started to say 5, so I don't know what the rest of the number is. But I guess it's my number, right?
It is.
Oh, you're
okay. 541. Okay. All right. I've written down several short questions. Hopefully they don't take too long. I want to do the W-4s. I need to know, do they need to be sent in by April 15th, or can they be sent in anytime?
No, you send them in anytime.
Okay, good. That answers that question. Can they be sent piecemeal? For instance, my documents are all packed away in storage, and I can't get to all of them. But if I send part of something, can I send the rest of it later, or does it have to be?
Yeah, you can amend. Yeah, ma'am, you could amend it. You can amend it. You're better off having it all sent at the same time. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what it is that you're doing the W-4 on.
Okay.
But,
well, I'm going to be doing it to try to get money from my home. Now, 2 weeks ago, I applied for a loan for an automobile, and I thought I was going to get it. I was in there 3 hours, and they were. She got the manager, and I showed him a W-1099, and he came back and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm familiar with this and everything," and I'm feeling very confident. So I thought everything was going fine, and then they were supposed to get back. I told him, I said, "Well, I'll talk to your accountant if you have one here," and they claimed to have one, but at the end they said he wasn't there, that they'd have to get back to me Monday. So anyway, they got back to me, I think Wednesday, and said they couldn't do anything for me. So I took pictures of everything I had filled out, signed, which was for the loan for the car. So
they didn't try and get you to take a loan and buy it then?
Well, they were talking about the loan first to start with, and I said, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to qualify because I haven't charged anything in over 10 years. I really don't have a credit history right now. So, but she did fill out the paperwork and had me sign it for the loan, and I took photos of them while she was kept getting up to ask more questions of her boss or whatever. So I was taking pictures of everything because I did ask for copies, but I wasn't sure I'd get them, so I went and took pictures. But I have that. It shows the car and everything, and it shows the amount. It shows my signature on there. So would that be sufficient?
Did you sign it with the beneficiary signature?
I didn't think to do that with the applying for the loan. I just used my regular signature. Which is handwritten, Lena Davis, upper lowercase.
Well, in order to do the conditional acceptance on them, you need to sign it with a beneficiary signature and take a photograph or ask for a copy or anything like that. As far as doing a conditional acceptance, if you didn't sign with the beneficiary signature, then you can't really do a conditional acceptance.
Well, right now, I'm just interested in getting some money because they foreclosed on my house in Florida. I'm in Oregon right now. And I need money because this place, they really have high fees for rentals and houses to buy. So I thought, well, I need a car. I've had mine, bought it new in 2005, and I still had it. So I need another car. But anyway, so I'm more interested right now in doing something that I can get some money back pretty quickly, which the W-4s seem to be working.
Yeah, the W-4s. I mean, you can do I don't know if you could in that type of situation there. Usually that's for debts that you already have, and like your home that got foreclosed on. I just talked with a couple Tuesday night. They started watching the videos end of 21. So they've been in on the watching the channel for over a year now, and they said last March they decided that they were going to go by way of the coupon method with their home.
Well, let
so
me
they
give you a little history. Well, I was just
okay.
going to say I did that. I started watching you in late March of last year. And my house was scheduled to sell in June, so I was eating up every video. I watched every video over and over again, so I had the process down pretty well. So I started out, and in fact, I sent you, I forgot what it's called now because my focus has been on these W-4s, but I sent a coupon for my, because I didn't have any 1099s at that point. So I sent the coupon to my insurance premium, which was due. And it looked like it was going well, I called the main office, and the gal said, I said, you take the coupon. So their office is too far. I couldn't go there and see them. But anyway, she said yes. And then, but I think the local people were fighting it. And so, but I did send them the coupon. I did everything, I was supposed to do. I signed it with my beneficiary signature and everything. And I got the green card.
But you didn't go to the foreclosure hearing, right?
Well, it's all done on the internet now. You can't go to them. It's all done online.
Well, the couple that I spoke to with Tuesday night, they did the coupon, and they kept the mortgage company kept trying to correspond with them, and they rejected all the correspondences. Or they didn't respond to him, I should say. And what happened was the 17th of last month, they were prepared, and they went to the foreclosure hearing and totally shut them down.
Well, my date was
and
already
they ended
set.
up. They ended up doing the company ended up doing the mortgage company. Ended up doing a non-foreclosure. So it's like the mortgage company reversed after this couple went in and actually argued. And they argued things like, where's the contract? Where's the original contract with the wet signature? Where is prove that it was your money that was loaned to me. Because check it out. If you mortgage a house and
I understand all that. Believe me, and I represented myself after I fired my attorney. But up to that point, I knew he wasn't really working for me after paying him every month for 3 years. So I fired him. And I was just eating up everything I could learn about the court system because I hadn't found your videos at that point. And I even hired a private investigator to check out. And I had proof of fraud and all kinds of stuff. But they weren't nobody was teaching what you're teaching at the time. The people that I was listening to weren't talking about your stuff. So I fought them from by myself for from 2018 till last year when they foreclosed. And that judge, he knew he was going to foreclose even after I gave him all the documents for the fraud that was proven. He reset the date before he even had time to look at those documents. So he was already planning to, So, but let me tell you what I did, though. What I did is I sent the mortgage company a coupon, and then when I got to the 1099s, I sent one to the clerk of court, and didn't get anything, no response at all from either one. So I did three things. I started with the insurance company, then I tried the foreclosure business, and then I even tried a car there in Florida while I was still there. And so far, I haven't, I'm new at this, but I pretty much knew what I was supposed to do, the way I was supposed to do it, just from listening to your videos over and over for months. So,
in order for what I'm saying about the mortgage, and I'm saying this for you and for all the other people that are listening about mortgages. When you have a mortgage that's been sold over and over again, then when you challenge that, okay, prove me that you loan me your money. They can't do that.
Well,
because the mortgage company that owns your mortgage now, the mortgage company that owns your mortgage now, right, didn't loan you any money, did they?
No, I understand that now, but I didn't understand it at the time I was battling in their court, before I knew my rights.
But that's the stuff that these folks argued, and they actually basically reversed it. They had it reversed. They had the process reversed, and now when we talked to their, well, what do we do now? I said, what you do now is you send them a contract. You send them a certified contract, the postal rule, giving them, say, 10 days to send you a title. And if they don't send you the title within 10 days, then they actually agree that the debt is settled. And at that point, you would do a conditional acceptance, and then they would send you the title. You'd give them the option to send the title or owe me $3 million, and see how quick the principal
is it too late for the conditional acceptance? It's been since June, so.
Not
and
on
actually,
the mortgage.
The house is being. I just saw the house. I got some realtor sent me, some houses. I've been, trying to find another place while I was still in Florida, and she sent me my house was up for sale, and
what an idiot!
And I just noticed where now there's a contract on it already. So I don't know if it's too late or not.
Here's with the conditional acceptance, you probably. Unless they haven't sold it. If they haven't sold it yet, you use the conditional acceptance. They may return the home to you. If not, they have to return it to you at greater or equal value.
Okay.
When you do it, but you can do a conditional acceptance on the property that's been foreclosed and taken away from you because there's no statute of limitation on fraud.
Right.
And that's what you're going to charge them with. You're going to charge them with fraud and conspiracy to commit fraud.
I saw one of your templates on foreclosure, conditional acceptance on foreclosure, but it seemed like it just had a lot of codes and different things that I guess I really don't know if it's that complicated. I feel like it's complicated. If I could just see something that's, I have a college education, so I can understand things, but it seems complicated.
It probably is complicated, but look at it this way. You don't really need to know all that. You don't really need to know all the codes and rules and case law and stuff. They're going to contractually agree that it is.
I need to know what you want me to do on there. I need to know what's essential that needs to go into that. I know there's, if I can quote, I have to quote certain things in there for foreclosure, whereas maybe other issues, you quote something else. And all conditional
acceptances are modifications unless you start from scratch and write one. Other than that, you're going to have to modify your own conditional acceptance to fit, what it is you're doing.
But let me see if I can make my point. My point is that what I read, on the foreclosure one, it's been a while now, so I can't remember it in detail, but it just seemed like it was, referring to all these laws and codes and things, why they couldn't do what they were doing. I don't know. I can just write down. I'm fairly good at writing, so I could write down what they did and what they took and what they didn't have any right to take and all this kind of stuff. But and then all the conditions that they have to meet and so on, that I can do. But I just wonder if I have to include all that in there to make it. I guess I want to say to make it look, pretty much like I mean what I say. I want it to look official, so like I'm, like I know what I'm doing.
Well, you want to get everything in there that you need to get in there because they're going to contractually agree to it. So, absolutely, you're going to want to write everything that you possibly throw in the kitchen sink.
Okay.
All
right.
That's what I do. I practically exhaust the argument. Actually, it's not really an argument because they're going to agree to it. There's nothing for them to rebut when you do a conditional acceptance. So.
But has anybody gotten any money for those conditional acceptances? See, I need money right now. I need to buy a place.
Yeah.
I've been here longer than I thought I would be here, and this person's been really generous in letting me stay in this house that he normally rents to traveling nurses. So I'm going to be out of here by the end of this month, and it's cold here in Oregon.
I feel for you. You ain't going to get nothing in a month. Not even with not even with the W-4. W-4 seems to be working faster than anything. But look, everybody that does a conditional acceptance, they're getting paid, but they're not getting paid like you think. They're not coming to you with $3 million and going, "Here, ma'am, this is your money."
Right.
They all pay off. It's about where and how they're paying. Now there's a process going on now, and I just got a message here day before yesterday, and my allergies are fired up really bad. All the trees are starting to bloom out here now, so
my eyes are burning.
We're right now. We've had 67 degree days the last 2 weeks.
I love that.
Tennessee, it's real beautiful. But anyway, there's a process that's going on right now that people are doing, and I got a text message that was from someone else that someone shared with them, and they got an almost $700,000 check from the Treasury, and they were waiting for 5 days. They said it'd be 5 days to clear, so by Monday morning they said the check should be cleared, and it's a check that they got from the Treasury.
So was this a CA then?
No, this is with the conditional acceptance, you contract with the Treasury for them to collect, so they get their share.
Right,
and then they put the rest of it in trust. Then they put the rest of it in trust credits. This thing here now is they're creating they're creating checks. I say checks, they're not really checks. The Treasury is actually calling them money orders. But what they're doing is they're using the Social Security account as the account, and they're creating an instrument and with magnetic ink, and they're doing it on what looks like checks, on bonds, that check bond kind of paper. And then because you can send like, say, if you owe $5,000 in taxes to the IRS, that's a gift. When you pay that $5,000, you're sending them a gift. So these guys are gifting like $500,000 more. than the taxes that are due. And because of that, they're getting returns, $500,000 returns.
Well, if they're giving $500,000 and they're getting back $500,000, I'm not following.
No,
that.
they're giving. They owe $5,000, ma'am.
Oh, I see.
And they're writing these instruments for $505,000, and they're getting $500,000 back as a return. So that's what's going on now.
On that?
There is no. I haven't done a video on it. I'm working with 3 different folks right now that are basically doing the same process. Each one's a little different, but those are actually, people are actually, they start off sending them to, like you would send it to the mortgage company. Well, the mortgage company isn't going to accept it, or they accept it and they take the money, but then they say you still owe. They steal it from you when you send these things. Well, they got the guys that are doing this got wise, and they're sending these financial instruments to the Treasury and having the Treasury pay the credit card, the car payment, the mortgage, that kind of thing, because they can't deny it once the Treasury pays for the car or the mortgage or the credit card. They can't. The credit card company can't say we can't accept that. Like the coupons that they're saying they're not accepting, like the 1099As that they're saying that they can't accept, yet they never return them. They can't say that when the Treasury sends them money. Here's the money that needs to be paid. What they're doing is they're having the Treasury pay it. Yeah.
Well, what I think the car dealerships are doing is that they're in with the bank that lends the money, and there's kickbacks, and they don't want to take the 1099As because I don't know. It seems to me they would get more by taking the 1099As, because if they get a percentage of a $60,000 car, they're going to probably get a pretty good chunk of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they're doing. So that's
where can I get more information? It sounds like it's faster than anything, and right now that's what I need.
Well, it seems to be working faster. I mean, they're getting this in about three to 4 weeks when they do the instrument.
Okay.
But they're doing them for folks on a case-by-case basis, or case-by-case.
Well, hopefully they'll take my case.
They're helping them. They've helped a lot of folks out.
You mean the people that are doing it, not the Treasury? You're talking about they're taking it.
The people that are. What it is you're going to have to give somebody your Social Security number. First off, you're going to have to, when you're dealing with these folks, you've got to give them your Social Security number. A lot of people aren't happy with that, or a lot of people aren't, willing to do that. But if you ain't willing to share that information, then they can't print them for you. Now, you can learn you can order the printer cartridge and get 100 blank checks and get the program for your computer that does the size of font and, and get instructions and do them yourself. But I don't think that's something you could do in 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And you sound like you're needing something soon.
It's pretty urgent.
Yeah, and with the foreclosure, the first thing I would suggest doing is writing the credit bureau and sending them a certified letter under the postal rule, stating that none of the bad credit on your credit report is actually your debt. What that'll do is that'll get that off of your credit, and it'll raise your credit score. Anybody that's listening, it's called the Fair Credit Reporting Act of '86, I think it is. That in that Credit Reporting Act, if you read it, it says that if the debtor questions or challenges the debt, the credit agencies, the three, Experian and Equifax and all that, they have to remove that bad credit from your report until the creditors can prove that it is an actual debt that you owe. And you're going to say in the letter that I don't owe this debt because they never loaned me their money. They're loaning you your money. So they can't prove that they loaned you their money, therefore there is no debt. These credit companies know this, so they don't challenge it. And cleaning up your credit like that, any bad credit you may have had, it's going to take that off your credit report. That you had a property for.
I was told there was nothing on my credit report. I haven't charged anything in probably 12 years. So I just use a debit card for convenience.
Yeah, I know, but I think that when your home is foreclosed on, they report that debt to the credit bureaus.
Well, let me tell you one thing.
Then you'll want that off of there.
Well, after my house sold, I get another statement from another mortgage servicer saying that I owed $800,000 something for the house. So they've already bought that debt. Somebody else, some other debt collector, and I just wrote back. I said, well, isn't that interesting that you have a note for my house when it's already foreclosed on? So I don't know. Maybe I'll put them on there too and see if I can get something out of them.
Everybody, anytime somebody makes you an offer, you can do a conditional acceptance on it.
Well, I'm going to do two.
I would definitely do. I'd definitely do. Well, you can do one CA and have them all on it.
Oh, that's true.
The offer is we're going to steal your home.
Right.
And now somebody else is saying you owe us money from this. Well, you're part of the crooks. You're part of the conspiracy theory. These people are saying you owe $800,000. They're part of the conspiracy theory.
Sure.
The conspiracy.
Right.
Conspiracy to commit fraud. So you can add them all in on the same conditional acceptance. Just mention them in the facts. Mention everything and every contact that you've had with your whole situation with your mortgage. Mention that all and list all those people and their principals.
Well, they probably, I know the court, I sent the coupon to the mortgage company or the mortgage servicer, and I sent the 1099 to the clerk of court. So somebody's getting paid a lot of money for that house because it's, $800-something thousand, and here's another.
Yeah, and you didn't.
Mortgage servicer
you didn't get it. You didn't. Yeah, you didn't get it back, and you gave it to a court who must file.
Well,
someone filed that. Somebody filed that. Court filed that. They have to. It's a must. Who must
I'm going to
file?
put them in the CA. I'm going to put a CA.
Absolutely, everybody.
Yeah.
You'll have the judge and everybody.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I may be able to, if I somehow, some of my daughter's friends have places, maybe I can stay with them till I get these CAs done. But a lot of my documents are storage 3,000 miles away, but it's going to be hard. But I'm going to try it. So if I can get a template,
well, I wish you the best.
The terminology, right. I don't.
So we got some other people that are waiting.
Sure.
It's all yours. It's all your terminology. You're the one that'll create all the words. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to know, to have the proper terminology so it's official. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you're not a lawyer, so you don't have. You're not a doctor, so you don't have to do brain surgery with it.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You have a blessed night.
5700000.
Yeah.
Let's try this. Okay. Lisa, you're on some kind of a speakerphone. You're like either on two phones or something. Mute.
Yeah, you might be on a phone and you might be on a computer at the same time. That happens a lot.
So we'll try this again. If it happens, we're just going to try again next week. So here we go.
Okay, I'm okay.
Try it again.
Yeah, you can't have two speakers on the same, two different mics on the same call.
Okay, we'll try it one more time.
Can you hear me?
281, go ahead.
Sorry about that.
Did you say 281?
That's you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm on a speaker. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks. Okay, I'll try to make this quick. Thank you so much. My name's Roxanne. I wanted to mention that in the lady that was just talking, that I've been reading that book, My Home is My Castle, that the Jarretts tell you to read, and they talk about how you're supposed to do some certain steps. You're supposed to file a notice of replacement of beneficiary and trustee, and then you're supposed to file a rescission of power of attorney because you still have control of the contract because they never signed it. So it's a live contract. So, I mean, I haven't done this yet, but I'm still reading the book. But this is a good book for anybody out there. Page 59 of that book by David E. Robinson. It just tells you the steps to take before you go to protect yourself. Because if you get to name the power of attorney and make it somebody friendly, then they're going to have a harder time closing on your property, is my understanding. My question is, if my mortgage was sold and it was sold to Fannie Mae, but they never changed the service agent, I still send payments to Colonial Savings in Texas, that's who I got the mortgage from. So, which I find strange because they sent me a letter, and I still have the letter that says they sold my mortgage, but they never changed where. So how do I know first of all, how do I know that these payments I make every month are actually going to Fannie Mae? You know what I mean? Like, that's my first problem.
You don't actually know. There's no way of knowing. That's how they do it. My wife and myself and my mother-in-law got ours through Vanderbilt, and we paid for 15 years to Vanderbilt. And they've sold the mortgage 3 different times.
Wow.
When my wife, I won't listen to her complain about it. I won't, because I've told her that we need to, there's something else that we can do, and she's not willing to do it, so I don't listen to it when she complains about it, and I just pay it. You know what I mean? I pay the payment I pay $700 a month to make my wife feel happy about paying back a loan and see, that's the kicker. I don't feel good at all about paying back a loan that I know I've already paid.
Right.
My family is not going to see it that way. When you start doing this stuff with your family's not, you owe that money. You can't. There's nothing you can do to convince them that they loaned you their money or your money.
Right.
That's where it's at. But Robinson is a very good author. You guys heard her mention Robinson. He is a very good author. I read 5 of his books while I was in jail.
Yeah, My Home is My Castle. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My question
he's got a bunch of good books. If you want to look his name up, look up the books that he's written. Some very good advice.
Yeah, the Jarretts mentioned it. I was actually calling to ask about some wording in a conditional acceptance. I'm trying to do it for a utility company, AT&T, and I found one on the Jarrett's website, but theirs I think is more towards a credit card company, because there's some things in this conditional acceptance that I don't understand, like saying something like provide evidence that your company has not created an account for the organization per 15 U.S.C. 1602, also known as a trust, in which the consumer is a beneficiary to. Is that what they do? They, like the banks do? They create an account?
That's what it sounds like is you just read off the condition, one of the conditions in their conditional acceptance.
I just don't understand what it means.
Well,
because I didn't know
read
they did
that.
This.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So there's two other provide evidence that your corporation has authority or authorization by the consumer or organization to create the account or be in the use of the organization's credit card per 15 U.S.C. 1602, which this is what makes me think that it's for a credit card company. I'm just trying to figure out what I need to take out of this conditional acceptance, because it doesn't apply to a utility company.
No, because what you just said, those conditions, you can put them in anything.
In a utility company as well?
Oh, yeah, that's what they're doing. Did you give the utility company your Social Security number?
Oh, sure, absolutely, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. So even though they're
what
talking
doing.
about a credit card,
yeah.
I mean, the utility company creates a credit card or something? Because it's talking about provide evidence that your corporation has provided a benefit to the organization or consumer with the use of the credit card in which you never had the permission to use.
That would be, yeah. If it's specifically explaining a credit card, you might want to deduct that from yours.
Okay,
that's basically what they're doing. They're hitting your credit.
Yeah.
If you read that United States Code annotated, Title 16, I think it is. If you read that, what it's got, it'll explain. You'll be able to read it, and it'll explain it. It'll clarify it, and then you can actually, you might find something that fits more for a utility than a credit card.
I haven't been able to find one. I looked on Scribd. I've looked on various. I visit a lot of different websites, and not even on Legal. I haven't found it yet. So it may be out there. I apologize if I just haven't found it yet. But this was the closest one I found so far.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do. If you're writing a conditional acceptance, you're going to want to find something that's close to it.
Exactly.
One of the ones that's closest to it, and then you're gonna deduct some stuff, and you're gonna add some stuff, and the stuff you add is what you find out.
Yeah.
Believe me, if you go searching into it, you'll find out all kinds of nefarious stuff that the utility companies are doing.
They already sent it to a collection agency. It's hilarious. I sent them a coupon, and I wrote out the coupon and sent it to them with a remittance letter and a assumed name certificate and a fee schedule, and they never sent it back. And they had the president. I sent it to the CEO of AT&T, and the president of the company sent us a letter telling us to call them. Well, I don't want to do anything over the phone, so I didn't call them. Well, in the meantime, they shut it off. It's for a landline, and I was doing this because I really didn't mind if they shut it off, because the only reason I had it was for an emergency call to my dad. He had dementia, but he passed away. So I was going to try this process, and it was only $149, and they sent it to a collection company. So we're about to fire off a letter tomorrow that just basically says, please provide us the wet signature, and if you don't respond in 10 days, we don't owe anything. You're a third party interloper, and if you want to discuss this further, please, we reserve the right to charge $5,000 an hour at full hour increments. If you wish to discuss further.
Put there any attempts to contact me by phone will be considered phone harassment.
Oh, that's a good.
will be considered harassment.
But I found it humorous that they would send it for $149.
Well, they sold it. Is what they did.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah, and then
ditch this like right away.
Yeah. Well, they they didn't send it to his all caps name. They sent it to upper and lowercase name too. That was to confuse me. And they also
that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It originally started in the trust.
Right.
AT&T was sending it to you in the all caps name.
Yeah, they were.
The bills
yes,
and
they
stuff.
were.
That's how they're trying to do it. They think they're smart. We'll just use the upper and lowercase, and then they'll think it's real. Wink, wink.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
You know.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate all you do.
Yeah.
Both of you guys.
All
Thank
right.
you so much. Have a nice evening.
Yeah. Thanks for calling
you.
tonight. You too.
Okay.
8860 area code.
Is that me?
It is. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the lady that was there before that was a little frustrated about the foreclosure. I did mortgages for 15 years, and the attorney didn't like to answer a lot of questions. I said, what is it really that they're lending? And he said, what are you talking about? I said, every promissory note that you read, it says, in return for a loan I have received. And I says, well, that right there indicates that I received something prior to me doing anything with that document. And I says, then was it a dozen eggs or a cup of milk? What did I borrow? And he got all frustrated. He couldn't answer. He said, well, you're making money on these deals, because I was a broker. But he could never answer that. And based on what every promissory note says, it does not say what you borrowed or what they lent. And they don't tell you when it would happen, but it does say you received. So at the court, if you ask for evidence of the date you received it, they can't answer that, which makes it null and void on its face.
Yeah.
It's an unlawful document and a promise to pay, because they can't prove that they lent you anything.
Yeah,
and
I heard something that was kind of similar to this with the, but the guy said, what is it that was loaned? Well, he made the guy that was asking the question said, okay, they're 100 something. I don't know what it is. But there's 100 of them. So I'm going to say coffee beans. And he ended up repaying the mortgage in coffee beans or something like that.
Well, yeah, I'm from Connecticut, and a company one time put down, it was in the 70s, I think, 60s or 70s, that they had a Pontiac Grand Prix loaded with a 427, 426, whatever the cubic inch was back then, and all you could get it for a carload of bananas. So a guy went out and bought a carload of bananas, and the tracks were right in front of the dealership across the street. And the guy walked in, and they had pulled it on the side for him. And he says, okay, he says, I want that red one over there. And they says, okay. And he made the contract, and he says, well, how are you going to pay for it? And he points across the street. He says, there's a carload of bananas. And he says, well, that was just a joke. He says, it's an ad. Yeah. And you put it there. They went to court, and he won the car for a carload of bananas.
Yeah, false advertisement.
Yeah. But that's not what I thought. I just wanted to just put my 2 cents in there, because the lady was really frustrated and trying to get money. And, like you just said, fraud has no expiration date on it. And the whole key to doing the mortgage is for them to evidence what they loaned, because they don't have a right to loan out a Federal Reserve note. That's, a note is a note. You can't. How do you lend out a note?
Yeah,
how do you
lend out an IOU?
Yeah,
you can't loan an IOU.
Right. Most people sign the back of the check for deposit only. I haven't done that for 10 years. I put down for further credit because how am I depositing a check that I don't know when it's going to be, that numbers are going to be available, so I put for further credit.
Yeah.
And they tried to one time give me a hard time. I said, look, if you can prove that you're going to give me lawful money, I'll gladly put for deposit. But I can't put for deposit because I'm not depositing anything. I'm asking for a credit against my account, and they just let it go. So anyway, I'm frustrated with the 1099A, and I listen and I get your point when you say, I got to go through it one more time. When I called up IRS, I asked for 20 sheets of it, and they sent me 7 sheets with 3 1099As on each sheet. The question is, has anybody ever used all 3 of them for 3 vehicles?
Well, you don't need 3 vehicles is the way the trustees would look at it, because you can only drive one. But you could use. There's my wife and my son that I was going to make on that one sheet 3 different people. Yeah, they would have to make it for themselves from their own trust.
All right.
But here's an example of using all 3 of them. Say you come to me and I'm going to be your trustee, and you want me to get a house, a truck, and a bass boat. I could use those 3 different 1099As for those 3 different things for you. Then I would get the money. It'd be 3 different purchases.
Okay.
A house, a motor home, and a Mercedes Benz.
Okay.
I would use each one of those 1099As for each one of the things.
Okay.
And then you would send it in with the OID and all the rest of the stuff. Right. And then your trustee would get the funds. And then your trustee would buy the house, the motorhome, and the Mercedes Benz for you.
Okay. Now, who can the trustee be?
Anybody that accepts it. But it's a lot easier. Anybody can be your trustee. When you give someone your Social Security number, they're your trustee. They can access the trust on behalf of the beneficiary. That's the way it's supposed to work. It's just a lot simpler to do it if you're one of the named entities that you read about in the directions. Who must file? Well, the post office can, and the banks can, and the financial institutions, and the courts, and the military. They can all do 1099As. Because they must file. It doesn't necessarily say that for anybody that wants to be your trustee. That's why we're working with this process to be private banks. Because as a private bank, I am a financial institution, a private financial institution. Now I can help you get the loans for those things you need. The only difference is you would come to me and say, Chris, I need $400,000 for this home that I need, and I also need this $120,000 BMW, and I also need this $85,000 bass boat. So what I would do is I would do one bass boat.
Oh, bass boat. Okay.
Fishing boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Harley Davidson, whatever.
Yeah.
What I'd do is I'd figure out what it was that you wanted to get, and I would get you a loan for that. And what would happen is I'd loan you your money with a contract. We'd create a contract. I would use a 1099-A with the contract. Why? Because I can. I'm a financial institution.
Mm-hmm.
I'd use the 1099-A to retrieve the funds from your trust, and then I would transfer them from my account. That money would come from my Treasury account, and I would electronically transfer it to you, or I can actually even buy the stuff for you. Be all the way down to take the loan money and buy it for you. But I don't necessarily need the extra aggravation. That's more time. I'd rather just send you the check and say, look, you want this in a bank draft? I'll go bank draft this and send it to you next day air, or give me your routing number and your account number, and I'll transfer it to your to your account, and then you handle it.
Yeah, that's great. That's fine. So you want to be the trustee?
I'm going to be a bunch of folks' trustees, but I'm also going to create a bunch of trustees. Like Tad. You won't have to call me for a loan. You call Tad. He'll be able to hook you up.
Not yet.
Or somebody here. Probably there'd be quite a few people that are in Tad's group that'll end up taking the banking class. Mm-hmm. And you'll be asking them, I'm not going to do a whole lot of loans. I want to do the loans for the people that are going to learn how to bank. They're going to learn how to bank, and they're going to learn how to teach how to bank. Those are the ones I want financially set
mm-hmm.
to so they can quit their jobs and concentrate on this class. It's going to take 2 months, not quite 2 months to go through. I don't want you working a job when you need to be doing 5 hours of class work every day.
Well, I'm retired, so that's not an issue.
All right,
so that'd be good.
And I had a mortgage company for 15 years, so
yeah,
I'm familiar with some of it.
Those are qualifications that get you extra points to get you in the class sooner.
Okay.
Son of a gun.
All right.
What's the matter, Tad?
My computer.
Your computer?
Okay.
It goes offline, comes back on, goes offline. There we go.
Sounds
Let's
like mine.
My kid's an IT guy.
Yeah. Yeah, mine is too. I got a 12-year-old writing code.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. 12 years
right,
old, writing code for video games.
There we go. So,
right,
should I just
we got some
sit
other
back
people
and
waiting.
wait? So should I sit back and wait to do the 1099?
Just hold on, man. Well, if you guys have already got them done and haven't gotten the answers, you may be getting calls from the private bankers. Hey, I just got your 1099-A. How is it I can help you? Or if you guys are trustees out here and you're filing these for people, you may get a call from one of the bank guys going, look, I've got your client's 1099-A, and your trustee will work with our banks, our bank guys, our private bankers, to get you the ones people's already filed. So,
mm-hmm.
I think that's the intention of the Treasury, to make private bankers who can be capable of dealing with these 1099-As that are getting stockpiled right now.
Yeah, I know the W-4 sandwiches. I send in 20 of them. I haven't heard anything for 6 months.
Yeah. Okay, so we got other people waiting.
All right.
All right, thank you. Okay, 323 area code. Go ahead.
Hey there, thanks, Pat. Richard Murphy here. Chris, how you doing? Capital One,
doing, man?
credit card. Cool. I want to be brief, as brief as I can. Capital One, 3 credit cards. I sent coupons to the CFO directly, and what I received was letter from Capital One that my accounts are closed, and even though there are balances. So pay up, and you can't use your credit cards anymore, and that's just retaliation. So do I have to send the conditional acceptance first and then the 3949A, or can I go straight for the jugular with the 3949A?
I would do the conditional acceptance first.
Really? Okay.
And then as soon as their 10 days is up, do the 3949.
Okay, and send that straight to the IRS. Okay, cool. That was
Yeah.
my question. I just want to make sure. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. I hope your back's feeling better.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a lot better.
All right, thank you. 510 area code. You're next.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Chris. I actually spoke to you on Tuesday, and we were talking about that you want me to come on your show and tell you about the conditional acceptance success that we had with it. So if you would like to hear that.
Success with what?
With conditional acceptance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, go
ahead. I
ahead.
was wondering if you want to hear the story. Okay,
Yeah.
So let me just start from the beginning. I'll try to make it as brief as possible. So we had a lawsuit.
Take your time. Hey, take your time. If you need to be specific, go ahead by all means.
Okay. All right, so just start from the beginning. We had a lawsuit. This was for real estate or our private property. And there was this neighbor who came, who bought the house next door, and she kept on telling that there's this easement that isn't right next, that actually is on our property. It's hers. And she kept on telling, it's on my title, it's mine. So we were telling her, well, it's not on our title, so we just ignore her. So then she went and filed a lawsuit against us. And this happened 3 years ago. This actual lawsuit has been going on for 3 years. And so then we started, as we received this lawsuit, then the COVID happened. So everything got shut down. Everything slowed down. Anyway, so we hired this attorney, but this attorney wasn't able to continue because the title insurance got involved, and they hired their own attorney. They said he was a good attorney, that he will help us, blah, blah, blah. But later on we found out that this attorney was actually very, he was biased. He was actually helping the other party, and whatever we were telling him, he was telling the other party everything about what we were trying to do next. We also asked for the judge to speak to the judge in her private chambers. So we went to talk to her, but she was very biased. Also, she was telling us that we have no right, that we have to settle, that even though we have the survey that we're trying to show her, she said, I don't care, it doesn't matter, you're going to lose, you have to settle with the other party. Also, what we found out that the other attorney was a mayor's son of Richmond in Contra Costa County. It's in California. So everything was biased. I mean, she was totally working with the other cohort. Everybody was working against us, and we were just like, we didn't understand at the time. We're like, what's going on? Why? I mean, we have all this evidence that this belongs to us. Why they're doing this to us? We just didn't understand. So then when we were pretty desperate, we were trying to, find out what we can do, and that's when we found Chris and his videos. And we started watching all your videos. I mean, we watched it we listened to it over and over and over because we've never heard it before. It was like a brand new thing. We were like, what? This is not possible. Is this really going on? We just couldn't believe it. This is happening. And so we spoke to you on the radio show about a year ago on a TED radio show, and we were asking you what we should do, and you said, do the conditional acceptance. So we listened. We actually studied that. It took us like 3 months to complete it, and we studied basically we have a business. We were able to pause everything, and we were able to work on this every day until like 6 o'clock in the morning every day. And my spouse and I were working on it together. Actually, he was pushing me like I was about to fall asleep, and he was like, "No, we have to finish. You have to finish. Don't stop. Come on." Yeah. He was pushing me to finish it, which is a good thing. So we finally finished, and we sent it to them. Actually, first, before we send it to them, we waited for the other attorney to send us the final judgment, whatever. Because we lost the case completely with them. And and I also fired my attorney at that time. Before actually it finalized in the court, we fired the attorney. I fired him because he was no longer, he was biased, so I told him I don't want him anymore. But anyway, so we lost the case with them, but then I did the conditional acceptance. We waited for the other attorney to send us the final judgment paperwork. At that time, we were already ready with the conditional acceptance. That's when we sent it in. And after that, we gave them 10 days. Nothing. The quiet, everybody acquiesced to our terms, conditions. It was very, it was very complex. We did a lot of things in it. It was like over 62 pages. And I did send it to you, Chris, and you said it's good to go. Yeah, send it. So I did send it. And so nobody responded. But I would say 2 months after, we received that conditional acceptance from the court, and they said, by the way, we were returning your paperwork, but we didn't read it. But here it is. Here you go. But it was like 2 months after, so they already did the contract with the Treasury and everything, because they waited too long. And then and another thing we actually received from the Secretary of the State of California. They sent us a letter also like 2 months after. They said, I'm sorry, we cannot help you. We cannot represent you. You have to hire an attorney. And so that was that letter. And then later on, nothing was going on. Everything stopped. We still have our properties to belong to us. We didn't lose anything. But about a month ago, I went on the website to see what my case, if there's anything about my case, about the case, but there was not. I couldn't find it online. So I went to the court records, and I asked them to print out the summary of the case. So when I look at it, it said all the paperwork is sent to be destroyed, and it was date like August last year. So they basically destroyed all the paperwork, and they didn't want to have any evidence of nothing, and it's no longer there, basically. So it worked. What I want to say, it did work. It stopped the whole nonsense what they were trying to do with stealing part of our property. And it stopped it. And it stopped it.
That's what it did with mine. When I did the one for child support, it stopped 45 days later, man. We didn't hear nothing but crickets out of the Department of Human Services. And to this day, they don't send me anything.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it will do. It will stop things, and because they think that, well, if we just send her back her paperwork and we get rid of this altogether, she won't have nothing that she can sue us about. Well, they're thinking about suit. We don't sue. We don't sue. We lien.
Right.
Actually, we get Janet Yellen to lien for us. So that it doesn't matter if they've destroyed the paperwork. It doesn't matter if they said, well, we didn't even read this stuff. We're sending it back to you. That doesn't matter. Their 10 days are up. When they're up, it's contract. They can destroy all the beauty of it is if they destroy all of their evidence, the only thing that anybody's left with is yours.
Yes.
They can't even dispute it, what you said in the facts. That's why I say, when you write the facts, it doesn't matter if they're the truth or not. It doesn't matter. Because
right.
they're going to be facts. They're going to be facts.
And I also went. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that we went to also ask for the bond for the clerk's office, county clerk's office, and they keep on denying it, that they don't have it. And I said, so who has it? Oh, we don't know who has it. So they're basically hiding all the stuff. They don't want people to, But the other thing I was actually going to... Go ahead.
They know.
Yeah. So if they destroy this file, should I do the W-4 sandwich, even though they destroy this file? Does it make sense to do it?
Well, if you do the W-4 on the case, and they go to audit it, the IRS goes to audit it, they're going to say, well, we don't have anything here. We don't have anything here on this case. That isn't even a case, so I don't know what it is they're doing. And it may stop at that. Or they may have to come clean. Oh, well, we really didn't destroy this. We really got it because of the bonds. They may have to come. They may have to come clean on it.
Right. But should I do it, or would you do it in our case?
I would.
Okay.
I like messing with you. I like messing with these people. I do. It's amusing.
Yeah. So
it's amusing to.
Yes, it is. Actually, it is. But is there a limit how far you can go with this W-4 process? Like, for example, you have old tickets or old things that like 10 years old. Doesn't matter?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Yeah. There's bonds that are being created. There's money being made on your trust.
Okay.
I would say don't do anything more than 7 years. Anything older than 7 years, because that's how the IRS does. They only audit you back 7 years. So I don't know if doing something from 10 years ago would do anything. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't know if they actually do anything because of it.
And you can only do it once a year, right? This process, the W-4 process, only once a year.
No.
No?
You can only do one 1040 a year, but you can amend that as many times as you need to. Oh,
okay. Got it. All right. Another thing that I wanted to ask you is about the Treasury. When you actually send the 1099, like for example for the mortgage, if we were dealing with the mortgage, they keep on denying the coupon, the 1099, so we want to send it to the Treasury this time. But how do we know? How do we know that the Treasury actually paid it? How do we have a proof that we can say,
the Treasury will notify you. The Treasury will. You'll get a letter from the Treasury saying, "Look, we paid this. This has been paid for. This has been paid for out of your trust." Just like anything else they do. There's a notice of it. That's why they're doing this. That's why they're doing this now. You could probably, and I think some folks already have sent coupons sent their coupon. Your credit card coupon. Sent it to the remittance office in the Treasury. What about that? They got a remittance office in the Treasury.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I will do that. And so to all the people who are not really sure what they want to do, I'm just gonna tell them that don't give up. Keep on going. Keep on learning. We didn't give up. We kept on going, and it was successful. We still have our property. Nobody's taking anything away from us. So you just can't give up. You just keep on going, and we all together. We're all in this together, and we can all. If more people do it, the more the more they will know that we can't. They're not going to get away with this anymore.
Yeah,
this is it.
That's right.
And we all need to help each other. This is the time when we all need to do our part. Everybody needs to do this.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for sharing with us tonight. I remember talking to you last year. It was a boundary. It was a boundary.
Yes.
That was a boundary dispute.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Stairs or something. Stairs they wanted to. Neighbors wanted you to tear out or something. I remember. Yeah.
Yes. Oh wow, you have a good memory. Amazing.
Yeah.
But thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I'm glad that worked out for you. Peace, blessings, good sister.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So this is a restricted phone line.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's me. I didn't know I was going to show up that way. Hi, Christopher. Yep. I want to do a 1099. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. For an automobile, I heard you say earlier they're not working. Is it still worth doing one?
You can do them. When you say not working, people think, well, it's not working because they didn't get a car. But they're working as far as doing a conditional acceptance. That's ultimately what you want. What's the value in getting a $80,000 car when you can have your own private bank? That's why it was, so as far as saying they're not working, I would say they are working. They're working for those that want to do conditional acceptance and get the contract with the Treasury so that you can bank. But as far as getting, I think that if you want to get this done faster, if you want to get into a new car faster, you should probably go ahead and get the loan. Get finance.
Let me go over the loan with you as I understand it. By the way, are you ready to start doing that, or have you done your class yet?
Well, no. I'm probably going to start the first class of 24 that it's a list that the IRS or the Treasury has made up. They're people that they want me to do first. Once I do them, then the second class will be the class that I choose, of my choosing. Right now, today I mailed off my 128-page brief for the tax court the first part of April. Once that's done, once I beat the thing in April, I'll be able to start banking myself. But by then I'll have probably be halfway through the first class. So by the time I start banking, I'm going to be teaching a class that I choose. So it's close. Okay. By the end of summer, beginning of fall, there should be dozens of student teachers that are going to start teaching other people how to become banks. So by Christmas time, there should be no reason why there isn't hundreds of private bankers out there ready to do your W-2, do your 1099As. If you want a car, you get a hold of these guys. Hey, I need a loan for a car. Okay, send me your 1099A, and I'm going to send you a contract, sign it. When you send it back to me with a 1099A endorsed on the back. Then I'll be able to fill it out with the amount that it needs to go into, and I'll send it off. And they will be working the way you used to be working at 1099A.
And there'll be a fee, right?
Yeah. There'd be a 6%. You want a $100,000 car? It's going to cost you 6%.
Okay.
But that's going to come from your trust. You're never going to see it.
I understand. Okay, so on your loan,
the trust that's got millions of dollars in it. If you buy a $100,000 car, your interest is going to be higher than 6%, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Probably. Most folks, anyway. Yeah, most folks. I know, but that's what most folks are already paying. And the key to this is you're not making any payments. Wouldn't you much rather give me $6,000 to get you $100,000?
Oh no question.
You're never going to pay
gladly.
Yeah.
Gladly.
Yeah. That's why it's
but
not never going to be a problem for anybody to pay the private bankers.
But I want to go over the loan thing that I understood, but you communicated. But that's not going to happen until the fall, it sounds like. So, but it would be that you would do the 1099. There would be a 6% fee. You would loan me the money when you got it, and the 6% fee, and then
I'm going to loan you your money.
Right. Understood. I hear that.
Yeah.
And then in 1 year you're going to ask it back from me, and I'm going to say, "Whoa, I don't have it," and then you're going to write it. You're going to offset it. That loan.
With the 1099-C.
So, will you get that? Let's say it's a $100 loan you give me. A year later, I can't pay it back, which is in the plan, of course. And then, do you actually get that $100,000 when you do the offset?
No, it's a cancellation. It's a cancellation of debt. It's the same thing that you do when you file a bankruptcy.
I'd rather do that.
For every debt that you file in bankruptcy, there's a 1099-C that's filed so that debt can be discharged. And it's your money.
No, I understand. I didn't know if you were going to get that in addition. In other words, was my trust. Not that it's that important, but it would.
It's going to cancel it. What it's going to do is it's going to cancel it. Why is it going to cancel it? Because on the 1099-A in box 5, you're not going to check the box. They're already going to know when I send the 1099-A in that it's not going to be repaid. That's what box 5 is. Mm-hmm. Box 5 says, do you intend to repay this loan? If you check the box and you're intending to do that, that's not going to happen. There's two kinds of loans that are taken from your trust. One is a loan that's going to be repaid, and one is a loan that's not going to be repaid. When you go to a bank and you borrow $100,000 for a car, they're going to do a 1099-A on your behalf. But they're going to check box 5. So what's going to happen is you're going to send the bank the payment, the monthly payment. They're going to take the interest, and then they're going to apply to the principal in trust credits back to your trust. Mm-hmm. They're repaying it. A normal loan, they're loaning you your money and they're repaying it. That's going to be the difference. I'm not going to loan you your money to repay. I'm checking box 5.
Okay. That won't be till the fall. So,
into summer, probably, maybe even by the middle of summer, a lot of you folks are already going to be took care of.
How will we know? Should I reach out to you to let you know I want to be part of that, or how do we communicate?
This will all come down by y'all paying attention to Tad's website.
Yeah, my mailing list. Get on my mailing list.
When I contact Tad and say open it up, he's going to let y'all know in the email, hey, y'all start sending your information, or send me your contact information. We got bankers ready to help you out. That's how quick it'll go down.
Tad, did I hear you say youhavetheright.com?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you on that. And then what about Tad's class? How do I consider that class?
What class is that?
Yeah.
I thought you mentioned Tab's class.
Oh, well, that's...
You mentioned the banker's class, but that's with the Treasury.
He was proposing. I don't have a class right now.
Oh, okay.
No, what I meant by that was Tad may be one of the first bankers. He may be one of the. I don't know if Tad even wants to be a private bank. I mean, there's a lot involved in that. Do you want to be a private banker, or do you just want to know one?
I think I just want to know one right now.
Well, see, most people are going to just want to know one. They're not going to want to be a banker. Like some people are going to want to be banks, private banks, but not all of them are going to want to be teachers of private banking. And not all of them are going to want to be members active members of the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be too busy banking. You know, that'll all come out in the wash. As soon as it's up and running, we're going to start working with folks. When I can teach less and bank more, I'll be open to it. You know, hit me up maybe we'll make a Telegram channel, a private Telegram channel that you all can be invited into. Those of you that need your money loaned to you.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can work with something like that. You know.
Last question. I need better education on the conditional acceptance. I mean, I have some, but I don't know if it's exactly what you're talking about. Where can you direct me for that?
The best thing to do is get one that's simple, like Ron Lyons, which is traffic. They're very simple. It's only 18 pages. And you read them. Before I even had my first conditional acceptance out over child support, I bet you I read over it half a dozen times. Because you're going to see things in it. It's kind of like, I don't know if any of y'all have ever read the Bible more than 2 or 3 times through. You know how the first time you read it, you ran into a bunch of stuff. I don't understand this, Lord. And then you read it again in a year, and now all of a sudden it makes sense. The conditional acceptance is like that. The first time you read it, there's going to be a lot of stuff in there it's not going to click. And then after you've read it a couple of times, you go, whoa, wait a minute, check this out. You really have to grill yourself with it and think about it. Think about it different ways. Well, what about this? Or what if I do this with that? I don't know. Last week did we talk about the Ripeness doctrine last week, Dad?
The who?
The Ripeness doctrine. Did we talk about that last week?
No, I don't recall.
Dealing with this lawyer, tax lawyer, had me thinking about some things, and I got to reading the in the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 1. Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debt and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. And check this out. Mm-hmm. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. And I got to thinking, well, how's everything uniform throughout the United States, right? Well, that got me thinking, codes. It's all in codes. The United States Code, the CFR, the Tennessee's got its codes annotated and everything. So I looked that up in a legal dictionary, and I came across a body of law and definitions. A body of law established by the legislative authority and intended to set forth in generalized and systematic form the principles of the entire law, whether written or unwritten, causative or customary, derived from enactment. You've heard talk about the enactment clause. All laws that are legislated have to have an enactment clause. If they don't, then they're not a law. Or it says derived from enactment or from precedence abit. A-B-O-T-T, right? Precedence abit. So I started thinking, well, what's precedence abit? I got to researching into that. And a lot of y'all are familiar with Abbott Laboratories, or Abbott Lab for short. Abbott Laboratories versus Gardner, 387 U.S. 136, 1967 is the case. Right at the very beginning, it says primary holding of the case. The Ripeness doctrine permits judicial review of a regulation if there is a purely legal issue involved and the direct and immediate impact on the party seeking to challenge the regulation. Okay? The Ripeness doctrine permits judicial review of a regulation if there is a purely legal issue involved and a direct, immediate impact on the party seeking to challenge the regulation, okay? So I said, well, what's the Ripeness doctrine? You see where this is going? When you start into stuff, you open up doors, and then there's a hallway, then there's another door. And so what's the ripeness? R-I-P-E-N-E-S-S, Ripeness doctrine. A doctrine, it's a noun, a doctrine prohibiting federal courts from exercising jurisdiction over a case until an actual controversy is presented involving a threat of injury that is real or imminent. Okay? What that says right there is, according to the Ripeness doctrine, right, before a court can exercise jurisdiction over any case, there has to be a controversy presenting and involving a threat of an injury, and that is real or imminent. Okay? So, you go to tax court. Where is the threat of injury that is real or imminent? If I don't comply to voluntarily give, okay, there is none.
None from you.
what they, that's what I'm saying. So this hearing officer, right? I even asked this attorney out of, it's the attorney that's going to argue on behalf of the IRS. I talked with him. He's out of Nashville. Some dude. He's some, I don't know. He wasn't willing to, argue any of this over the phone. I said, okay, we'll do it in front of this administrator. I said, this is an administrative hearing, isn't it? Oh, no, this is an actual trial in front of a judge. And I know better than that. It's not a trial. It's an administrative hearing. They can't put me in prison if they say you're guilty. So it's not.
Yeah, not over financial.
Yeah. Well, the Tennessee Constitution forbids it. And most state constitutions forbid imprisonment for a debt in civil matter. So, but this guy is going on about it, and I know better than that. They actually don't have, and I talked to this lawyer out of Charlotte who's going to be, he said he's my lawyer, and I said, no, I hate lawyers. You're not going to be my lawyer. I said, Jesus, I like to tell him, Jesus didn't even like you, man. That's what he said. How are you going to escape hell? But I called this other attorney back, I guess it was 3 or 4 days ago, and I said, hey, man, what's up with this? And I've read all that to him. I said, I found this, doing research on the case. And he said, if I lean over to you, because he said he's not, I told him, I said, you're not my lawyer. I said, you can sit in there and you can listen, but you better not open your mouth. Because I'm not giving you any power of attorney to speak on behalf of me. He said, yeah, I get. He said, I got you. He said, I won't say anything. I will, however, tap your sit by use. If you want me to, I will co-counsel with you. And if I see that you're about to wreck the train, I'll tap you on the side and I'll lean over and I'll let you know what to say or what it is you're doing. I'll whisper in your ear. He said, when I talked to him about this, he said, look, man, when the train does wreck, he said, I want you to pull that out. He said, if and when the train wrecks, when I tell you the train is wrecked, you're going to start breaking out the Ripeness doctrine. That right there will take the jurisdiction away from them. That's how it is in state courts. Even though this pertains to federal matters or federal courts, that even pertains to the procedures in the state arena. Because the Ripeness doctrine, it does apply in the individual states when the case is, like in our case, the state of Tennessee versus Ronald James Lyons, James Michael Yissinger, Lee Harold Cromwell, Austin Gary Cooper, Christopher Allen Hauser, et al. How was the state injured in our case? That's what has to be. That's what the argument has to be. Not how. What did we do that affected the witnesses? Because the witnesses aren't the accuser. The state is the accuser. Right. So how is it that we injured the state in what we did? Should have been the thing. All those witnesses never even needed to come. They could have got up there and said, look, this is how the state's been injured. In a murder trial, how is the state injured? Where's the imminent threat?
No, they're not. No. But, unless they're prosecuting on behalf of somebody representing the family or some law, which they don't.
If it's always the state charging you. So the Ripeness doctrine could actually be argued in every single case. Unless it's a civil matter where it's, Christopher Allen Hauser versus Tad, Or
a contract.
Like that,
I don't know you anything.
Yeah. And most of the
or
time
a contract.
you see those, yeah, you're going to see those kind of cases fought in a civil court or chancellery court. We have chancellery courts in Tennessee, so.
Well, you started this because because of Article 1, Section 8, whatever, Sub 1, you said it had to be equal across the states, and so the Ripeness doctrine wiped that out?
Well, the Ripeness doctrine applies to federal courts, within the jurisdiction of the federal court. But the actual definition of it is there has to be an injured party. You hear that all the time. Where's the injured party?
Yeah, well,
that is
common
the
law
Ripeness doctrine. Yeah, that is it. When you're looking at it that way.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to take up time on any more.
Right.
Thank you so much, brother.
All right.
Yeah, you have a blessed night, man.
You too.
Chris, we're gonna go to a sailor here, and this sailor is really mouthy.
Oh, what about him? I hope he's feeling better. I heard he was under the weather.
Let me tell you, I got some colloidal silver and some horse paste, and I feel 100 times better today. So,
really? I'm glad you did, man.
Yeah,
I
feel great.
You sounded really rough yesterday.
Yeah, I was not feeling good. My throat was very sore too, and it's almost completely gone now. So.
Yeah, I heard that's really effective. You're not the first person to tell me about the silver.
Hey, so anyway, while I was attempting to provide a link to the vets group just a few minutes ago, my primary Telegram channel got booted. It's gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep, it sure did. And I think that happened to you one time, Chris, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, they didn't get rid of it. They didn't kill the channel. They blocked me from getting into it. They barred me from it.
Okay.
But so is it completely gone, or?
It shows deleted. I'm on Mo Madness group, and it shows the owner as a deleted account. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. When you're, when you're out here leading the charge, they like to hit you at home.
Well,
they do.
I'm not surprised. That's okay. I mean, I expected to get a few eggs or tomatoes, right? So.
Yeah. It's,
all right. It's the battle that we're in, right?
Well, the squeakiest wheel gets the grease.
Well, I've been trying to.
So you get
not be squeaky.
attention when you get attention when you get out here and do this stuff. Here's the funny thing about it. Sailor. You do this. You do what we do. And where's the charges?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that today when I was thinking, man, this channel, this YouTube channel's been up for a year and a half.
Right.
And there's been quite a few people get on there and go, oh, this is BS, and this guy's a con, and this is a scam, and well, if it is, why haven't YouTube taken it down? You know what? I bet you I could get on there and do a video on the jab. Call it the COVID-19 inoculation, you know, and all this stuff that they kill the channel over. I could talk about the laptop and, you know, all the stuff that what got you banned. I could say anything Donald Trump said on Twitter that got him banned. They would leave it up. They would leave it up. You know, I mean, where's the fact checkers?
Right.
That's
exactly.
What I thought. Where's the fact checkers?
All right. Well, here I have a fact.
Yeah.
I have a fact that I wanted to share with everybody, and when I raised my hand, my account was still valid because I was sending links to the Vets channel, right? So we were talking about mortgages a minute ago, right? About a month ago, I came across 7 CFR 1901.508. All right, and it has to do with the servicing of insured notes outstanding with investors.
Hey, Taylor, say that again so everybody can. Y'all want to look this up? Get your pen handy.
All right, I'm going to say it again. All right, 7 Code of Federal Regulations, 7 CFR, Section 1901.508. All right. So we know where the money comes from, right? It does not come from the quote-unquote lender, okay?
Yeah.
They're merely a conduit through the Federal Reserve to the Treasury, all right? Well, because we're ignorant and the banks fight to keep us that way, we're coming out of our ignorance. We're awakening here, all right? And I want to just share this with folks. It's got Section A is assignments. Section B is sale of insured notes by private holders to private buyers. So what's the money? The money is your signature on that note, and that's why they don't do a counter signature. And you just said it tonight, all right? Because it's liquid. Yep. It's a negotiable instrument, all right? So Section C, assignment of insured notes to rural development, okay? Something I learned is when you are at the closing table, you can assign that mortgage to the United States of America without recourse. All right, on the front page of each page of that, you can say accepted for honor and then turn it over, endorse it payable to the United States of America without recourse. And then the holder, all right, endorses the insured note, and then the holder will then deliver the endorsed note together with the insurance agreement to the Director of Finance office at rural development. The note now belongs to the United States. Now, within that, let's say, all right, so if your note is old, you're probably not going to be able to do it. All right. One thing you can do is try and refinance if you're in a position to be able to refinance and just do, just take what your outstanding balance is, refinance it over another 30-year term. Within 90 days, you can take that that new note, all right, and make a copy on bond paper, word for word, with your wedding signature, and you can do it on that bonded note and send it with the insurance agreement to the Director of Finance and assign it that way. All right. So now we're seeing success. Christopher said something earlier about some of the instruments that are being done, and I just placed a bid on eBay. Whitkin's Negotiable Instruments, Volume 3. found a copy of it on eBay. So the auction is over next Tuesday. I'm going to see if I can get a copy of that. But part of the HJR 192, the result of that Banking Relief Act, it tells you what negotiable instruments, promissory notes are, CDs, draft, checks, money orders, international bills of exchange, that all of those are lawful tender because nobody has the ability to pay with legal species anymore.
Holy crap.
All right? So you got to get into the weeds in this a little bit and start extracting some of the things that are hidden in plain sight for you. And so we're going to, we're getting into this, I mean, elbow deep, folks. So we are, we're looking for remedy, and we're discovering that the IRS and the Treasury are our friends, and because of an article that was posted on an alternative news website about there being some disagreements between the Federal Reserve and the Treasury, I believe that this is, if this is part of our taking our country back. All right, that's just one man's opinion. Okay, it's my opinion, and nobody else's.
That's my opinion too. So it's two man's opinion.
Okay, so I think that this is unconventional informational warfare. All right. And all the stops are being taken out, and I think there are good guys on this planet that are opening up pathways for us to help destroy the head of the snake. And what is the head of the snake? It's the Babylonian money magic, right?
Yeah.
A certain mafioso group out of the Khazars, right?
Yep.
The ones that call themselves Jews that are not really Jews that are mentioned in the book of Revelation. So
the Ashkenazis.
That's right, the Ashkenazis. That's exactly right. Ashkenazis. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I yield.
Hey, thanks for sharing, and I hope you get to feeling better.
Yeah, dude, we've been going back and forth on Telegram, and I look over here, and you've been deleted. What the hell?
Yep. I just got a text from a gentleman that said, hey, everything all right? I got a bunch of texts from people. Where's your account? So anyway, I'm working with volunteer support now, trying to get it recovered. I don't doubt it if it's not going to be recovered, but that's okay. I've been following too many channels anyway. I need to focus.
I would get them if they've done that intentionally. I would get them to give you an excuse in writing.
So can you repeat how you signed that?
What you ought to do too is tell them I need in writing. I need the reason why this happened, and I also need. Please send me an offer that I can conditionally accept.
There you go. So,
and Ed, I think Tad was saying something about, can you explain again how you, what was it, Tad, sign something?
Yeah, somebody's asking. How
Sure.
to do that.
I'll tell you. Absolutely. All right. So on the front of the promissory note, that's the negotiable instrument, and that's what is the money. All right, and that's why they trade it around. They buy and sell. And a friend of mine actually sold mortgage packages. That's what he did for a living, and so that's where the money is. So the way this is endorsed is on the front of each page of the note. you write accepted for honor. Okay? And then you flip it over on the back, and then you write these words, which are in Section C of that Code of Federal Regulation I gave you, that's 7 CFR 1901.508, Section C, assignment of insured notes to rural development. The holder will endorse the insured note as follows. Pay to the order of United States of America without recourse. And then you'll deliver that endorsed note together with the insurance agreement to the Director of Finance Office of Rural Development. Okay. Now, why are people's houses getting stolen from them? Who? Ask yourself a question. Do courts or judicial officers or quote unquote judicial officers, they're really legislative officers, are they invested in mortgage-backed securities?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, insurance, mortgage insurance, any of that? I don't know. It's a question. That's all it is.
They're invested somehow in it, seeing how they're all biased when it comes time to steal the house.
Right.
They got something. They got their hand in the cookie jar somewhere.
Yep. Well, that MERS system is their friend, and my wife and I are about to close on a townhouse, and she's asking all kinds of questions. I said, what you need to do is quit claim it for 21 silver dollars to your trust, and you can call it whatever you want. You can call it the blah 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 123 Main Street Land Trust if you want. And you quit claim it to that trust for 21 silver dollars, and they're not going to be able to steal it from you.
Yeah.
All right. So does that cover it?
Yes, you've answered my questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, we're going to try 570 area code again and see what happens. Are you there?
I'm here. Is that me?
Yes.
Hi, guys. Hi, Tad. Hi, Chris. Finally. I met the old Chris. I guess I got scammed from the other guy, I guess, pretending to be Chris. Okay, how you doing tonight? Oh, you sound like you're ready to. Yeah, that's okay. I didn't give him no money or nothing. I was just sending emails and with my stuff because I started with you like over a year, and I was doing the conditional acceptance. Well, then that stopped me because I went in and I had my mom's death certificate and stuff, so I've been going through her. Long story short, I checked her Social Security and they were still using hers. So I wanted her to, I wanted Social Security to die with her. So I started that then, and I stopped my conditional acceptance. But I want to get back to my conditional acceptance. My question is, now I had a lawyer I had a lawsuit against these cops that did unimaginable stuff to me. Anyway, the lawyer
I can imagine.
I'm serious. Chris, you have no idea. But my point is, they got away with it. All these lawyers for a long time, but they got put away now. Okay, but my lawyer was their lawyer. You know what I mean? When I was doing the lawsuit. Yeah. So to go to find out what you know what I mean? I've studied all your stuff, and even with the legal bust, I wanted to do a thing, but I decided to go with Tad because you're putting out a heck of a lot more, So, but my thing is, I've been calling the court systems, asking to get my docket numbers on all that, all that court stuff. They told me it's in the ARC.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're telling me, I just heard on the call here that you only go back 7 years. So that's my problem there. Like, can I go back further, even though it's in the ARC?
That's the IRS will only audit that far back.
Really? Normally.
Yeah. If you're going to do the W-4, that's probably only about as far back as you can go.
Okay, which would only be 10 years, right?
It was 10 years.
Yeah.
You can try it. You can try it and see what happens. The only reason I'm saying that is because that's normally all the IRS can audit you back for. And if they can only audit you back that far, only natural to assume that they would. That's how they do businesses, also.
Okay. Well, I got people I know in high places, and I got my girlfriend. She's like the head of the one magistrate in the Carbon County. Well, this is in Pennsylvania. I'm in Jersey. Now, but anyways, she's gonna look into it and get me numbers. So if I have all these docket numbers in hand, like you know what I mean, that I have, can I go take these docket numbers with my conditional acceptance and go with that?
Yeah.
Go that backwards?
You can do a conditional acceptance.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. The W-4 sandwich probably, you probably couldn't get them to audit back that far. But you can do conditional acceptance for something happened 30, 40 years ago.
Really?
Because
that's what I'm saying.
Because there's no statute of limitation on fraud.
Okay.
So.
That's cool.
So you can do that, but a W-4, you probably couldn't do a W-4 because they only go back 7 years. All
right. Well, then I'll scratch that. But I was doing a conditional acceptance for what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So if I get my girl to get me all them docket numbers back, because she's in Carbon County. Yeah, she's also. It's like 3 different magistrates. Like literally, I'm taking down like four in the same county. You know what I'm saying? Like with all these cops. But the lawyer part. How do I get that now? They physically removed me from the lawyer because I'm like a little firecracker. I don't give up. And they literally picked me up and removed me from the lawyer as a Quinn. But then the Quinn is the one that I'm after, not Krasno, but they owned it. But they physically removed me out of there because I was ranting and raving. But all I wanted was where'd he go? Because he just got up and disappeared. How do I go about getting his information? Because he's the main one that did all this. You know what I'm saying?
If he's a lawyer, if he's a lawyer that's on the document, then his bar license number should be on there too. You ought to be able to track him by it.
Do them docket numbers, correct?
Yeah. If a lawyer was involved, if a lawyer was involved, they'll have underneath their lawyer name, they'll have their bar number.
Again, like the cops went to prison. There was no court case, nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? But I have docket numbers from all the cops that went to jail that he was the lawyer to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love to hear about cops going to jail.
Well,
about as much as I love to hear about child molesters going to jail.
These cops, these cops are real bad. I mean, they had dealers, people they were paying off. They got a lot of money, they didn't get to enjoy it. So, I wasn't giving up on the lawsuit. You know what I mean? But my lawyer did me in there. That's the conflict of major interest. You know what I mean? When he was my lawyer for the lawsuit, and then he was the cop's lawyer. That didn't make no sense to me.
His bar number should be on the docket, on the case, on the case numbers. Yeah, he should be easily caught.
So I could get him out of out of that office.
Hey, if you got his name, you could probably find him on Facebook.
Yeah, I do have his name. Quite, like I said, and then it became Krasno on the Ginger. You know, another guy just kind of scooped up his position. Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay. Second question. My honey, we just got pulled over. It was my birthday, and we're leaving the restaurant. I call it entrapment. I told him that he was on us that quick. We lived 5 miles away from the restaurant. Long story short, he got 9 charges. He never signed any of them. His mother took the papers. But, I mean, he was ranting and raving. No, I'm not signing nothing. No, I'm not, you know, you're violating my rights, blah, blah, blah. They kind of kidnapped him. Same thing like that lady was saying earlier. But we didn't go to court yet, nothing. So I'm going to do a conditional acceptance for him. Does he have to do put all these charges on it? Go ahead.
If you're going to do a conditional acceptance for him, it's a traffic violation. So use Ronald James Lyons as your template.
James Lyons?
Ronald James Lyons.
Okay.
It's the traffic. It'll be the traffic conditional acceptance. Tab's got it on his side.
I know. Yeah. I've seen that one, but I didn't. I was going through other ones like how to go through because we didn't even go to court yet. It ain't till April.
Yeah.
But like I said,
that's why you want to get on it. You want to have that in there before he goes. You want their 10 days to be up by the time he goes in there.
Right.
Put the judge's name on it from the ticket. The offer's the ticket.
Right.
The offer is the ticket you're going to conditionally accept.
But he didn't sign any of them before he left. He did not sign anything. His mother just took them when she picked them up.
I know, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. They didn't make his mother the offer. They made him the offer. She just accepted it for him.
Right.
Well, now conditionally accept that offer that was made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he sign any of these with his John Hancock, with the way we sign it? No?
Yeah.
All right, sign all these tickets.
He's gonna be the one. No, don't sign the tickets. There's no reason to.
Okay.
Actually, when you sign they'll tell you that signing the ticket's not an admission of guilt. It's just when you sign it, you're basically saying you will agree to appear on that date, which grants them jurisdiction. By not signing it, they don't have jurisdiction over you. They don't.
Nope.
Great. That signature is the contract to agree to appear and to grant jurisdiction.
Cool.
So what he would do is do the conditional acceptance. Do the conditional acceptance, and then have him go in there, Juris in propria persona.
Okay.
If the 10 days are up, when he goes in there for the ticket, he'll go in and he'll say, when they call his name, he can say, my name is Christopher Allen. He can say, my name is Christopher Allen, family of Hauser. I'm here Suri Juris in propria persona to challenge the jurisdiction.
Okay. Wow.
Then he can at that point they'll probably say, get the hell out of here. And if they do, if they press on with it, if they try and press on with it, he can say, the only reason I'm in here is because I just naturally assumed that you wanted me to come in here so you can pay me the $3 million you owe me. Is that why we're in here today?
We have one. You know, we have a schedule thing, schedule fee. I have it notarized and everything. So, we have all that. Yeah. Okay. Just one more quick question.
So,
I'm sorry, Kat.
Wait. Is this related to the traffic ticket?
No. It's just another quick thing.
Okay. So we got some other people waiting. We got to get going. So thank you for calling. Thank you for calling.
All right, bye.
All right, thank you. Okay, 509. Go ahead.
Just a second. Okay, hey guys.
Hey, what's up?
I got good news.
Hello? Did you mute yourself?
She had good news.
Did you mute yourself? Did you hit mute by accident on your phone? There you go.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. So anyway, what happened is
what happened about what?
I put a FOIA. Okay, I put a FOIA. I'm sorry, I'm just so excited. I didn't know. I was just waiting.
Okay, so a FOIA about what? What is the
I
situation?
put a FOIA for the assessor and the treasurer because of the property
tax. Hold on. Start from the beginning. What is this about?
This is about the unfair property taxes that's been on for the last 2.5 years.
Okay.
And so I put in a FOIA to get the oath of office and the bonds for the treasurer and the assessor. And today they called me up. The court clerk called me up and said, "Oh yeah, come and get your papers." So I was like, "All right." So I went on over to pick them up. And when I got there, as I told him I wanted them on a court seal, you know, the raised seal, the official seal. Mm-hmm. And anyway, come to find out that right now the assessor doesn't have a current oath and bond, and he just got reelected. He was up for reelection in 2022. He's been at work for 2 months without a bond and an oath of office. The assessor, the treasurer, his dates, he was already like in office for like 6 months before he took his oath of office for 2021. His bond is going to be attaching. I'm going to be going after both of their bonds. And what's crazy is that as much money that treasurer has, that goes through his fingers, he's only bonded for $10,000. I don't know. I'm going to be going back tomorrow and asking some more questions. I'm going to go over to I can't say the main courthouse, but the one where the county clerk operates out. Because, see, this is what's going on. They, as far as territorial jurisdiction, they are not operating from the county seat. They are operating in the city of Kennewick, which is about 30 miles roughly from the county seat. Now, let's talk about business and revenue. We know that they're a business because they got DUNS numbers, like you so boldly told that county commissioner. I know for a fact you're incorporated because I got the DUNS number. We were so good, Chris. I just love that video. Anyway, so basically, where's the county's business license? Because it says right on the courthouse in Kennewick, business hours. So that means that they got to the city of Kennewick better be having a business license for them to do business, because that's what they're doing. If they don't, guess who's going to be our best friends? Our Treasury agents are going to love going in there and checking how much revenue they've been stealing, and they've been stealing a lot. Not only that, but my friend Kurt, he went back in the day finding out that even this courthouse has not been officially recognized by the Supreme Court of Washington. So this Justice Center, called the Benton County Justice Center, isn't even really officially recognized by the Supreme Court of Washington.
That's crazy.
That means every prosecution that they do isn't really lawful.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Anyway, isn't that great, Chris? I found out that the assessor's not bonded.
Well, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll take their oath of office in an adjacent county. Judges are bad to do that. Mm-hmm. They're bad to put them in other counties. But now here's the thing about the bond, okay? Say you got a cop.
Right, a certified copy.
And
the bonding something on there. Right.
Say you got a cop that's got a $50,000 bond, right? Everybody kind of thinks that, well, I could go $50,000 against his bond and he'll lose it. But really, the way that works is that's $50,000 per. Say the cop violates your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th Amendments. Okay? That's $250,000.
Oh, right.
So that's $10,000. What you're saying? That's $10,000 per charge, you could say.
Right.
Per offense, that would be even better.
Right.
Per offense. So if you take $50,000 out on the cop, he's not going to lose his bond. They don't do that. If you go after the $50,000 bond, you're not going to lose it because it's $50,000 per offense per person. You know what I mean? They don't lose their bond. It's not easy to lose the bond.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking about the treasurer. Okay, so the treasurer came in, this jackass named Ken Spencer. Now, I'm thinking the reason why the box wasn't checked for him for 2021 when he came in was that he was appointed and then he had to run this year because it's not checked. So that's why I'm going to have to go and talk to the clerk tomorrow to get some more information. I'm going to talk to her directly and say, all right, because, see, the thing that's like, I don't know, you probably, you talk to so many people, you just have to remind the callers that this particular county clerk is married to the county commissioner. I mean, it's that bad in this area. I mean, and the Spencer that I just mentioned, now I don't know how if he is, but it seems kind of more probable than not that he's definitely related to the assessor. So we've got Treasurer Ken Spencer, and we've got Assessor Bill Spencer. Now, if he has been in office for 2 months without an oath of office and no bond. Now, see, like I was sharing with Chad earlier, I filed...
Everything he's done could be void.
What was that?
Everything that he's done could be void.
Right. Well, and the reason why I was getting ready, what I was going to say next was that, okay, so he might not be able to get bonded because I filed that $57 million notice of lien in Colorado, which is the Western hub of, so the word went out because, like I said, I already did this once before to an agency, the Employment Security Department in Washington. I filed a $57 million lien against them for trafficking in my name, and the very next day they were pulling 2 different warrants out from Superior Court that I don't know what those were. I'm going to need to start asking some questions because, that's just, there's just so much, it's just, I really need to just, it takes the breath away, brother.
Yeah. There's corruption in red states as well as there is blue states. But I tell you, y'all in them blue states, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All I could suggest is move out of the blue states, man. Move out of those blue states.
Yeah, I think I'm going to move over to Idaho once everything gets settled over there and say, I love Baker. But anyway, I want to get off here and let someone else have a chance. And I really appreciate getting a chance to share the good.
Hey, thanks for sharing. Go get him, Tiger.
I will, brother.
All right. 239 area code. 239.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey,
go ahead.
How are you doing tonight?
Awesome, man. Doing great. Thank you for asking. Hey, I wanted to thank you guys, first of all, for doing what you do. You guys are like angels. I have a few questions. So, I hear that you guys mentioned that whenever you pay off a loan, you can go to the bank and ask for them to give you the money back for the loan that you paid off. How does that work? Does that work in car loans, home loans?
When I have talked about that in a video. I was trying to explain how that process works. They loan you your money, They check box 5 on the 1099, so they pay back the money without interest. They're just paying back the principal on the loan, and they're keeping the interest. The interest gets sold, which is the mortgage. When you hear about a mortgage being sold, well, they sold the mortgage to another lender. The only thing they really sold was who gets the interest. Vanderbilt. We got our loan through Vanderbilt Mortgage. We still pay Vanderbilt. What Vanderbilt does is they take our money that we send them, and they send the principal back to our trust, and then they send the interest on to whoever bought the mortgage, and they get a little percentage for doing that. That's how they get paid. And it's basically just a privilege to collect the interest. But see, that interest at that mortgage company, because you were the one that on the contract that made the monies possible. So it's really yours. The mortgage company buys it. The mortgage lender buys and sells your mortgage multiple times, generally. When that mortgage is paid off, you're supposed to go get that interest. Okay, I paid on this loan for 30 years. I paid my last payment. Now you should be going. This is the way it works. You should be going to that lender and saying, I want a ledger of the account. I want an audit of the account, and I want to know how much is in there, and I want to cash it out, or I want to close the account. That account was opened in your trust, your trust name. It's actually yours, but you'll abandon it. That's normally how people do. Okay, I got my house paid off. They're sending me the title, and you leave it at that, but you've abandoned that. Because in the contract, you agreed to pay that money. You agreed to pay that money into that mortgage. You're supposed to go get it out, but people don't know this, so they don't. They don't go to Vanderbilt. Hey, 30 years is up, Bubba. It's time for you to give me my money. I expect a check in the next 3 days for the balance. You don't do that. You abandon it. So what happens is the mortgage company goes to the Treasury and says, this guy's abandoned this account, or gal has abandoned this account. What do we do? Well, basically, the Treasury gives them permission to do a 1099 for abandonment of secured property. A 1099 it works two ways. One is for acquisition of secured property, and the other one is for abandonment of secured property. When you abandon that stuff, when you abandon that mortgage, who should get it? Like when you die, there's no beneficiary left to assume your Social Security trust. Who gets it? The trustees do. That's what you're supposed to do. And I would imagine you could do the same thing with a mortgage or with an auto loan. The time is up. I'm here to collect. I'm here to collect the interest. And you agreed to that. Man, I'm telling y'all, if y'all would sit back and read your contracts that you're signing and break it down to what it really means, you would see a lot different. You'd see a lot. They don't want you to see that. They're going to hand you a 5-page document with letters so small you need a magnifying glass. And then it's going to be some legalese stuff, so you're not going to understand it anyway. If you take the time to learn how to understand that, read those contracts, and understand them, it would greatly benefit you. Not only that, in any contract, that you sign, if you read it, you can actually draw lines through sentences that you don't agree with. Draw a line to it, put your initials above it, and if they still accept the contract, they agree that verbiage that was in the contract is stricken out. It no longer applies. People don't realize that they can do that when they sign those contracts. Oh, let's just sign it so we can buy this house. Oh, let's just sign it so we can drive off in this car. It takes 3 or 4 hours to buy a car. One reason it's so long is because they're waiting for that check. As soon as you sign that, oh, well, we're going to take it back here and we're going to detail it for you and gas it up for you. And, if you're hungry, are you hungry? Go on down and have some dinner at the Golden Corral. That'll kill an hour of your time while they're waiting for that check to clear, the one you signed for.
Yeah, I've worked for an auto dealership for many years, and I'm the one to attest to that. They wouldn't let people drive out the lot until they get an approval from the bank. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I have one more question.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a question or a statement. Either way,
okay.
My wife and I, we own, a little bit of property here in Southwest Florida, Naples. We wanted to do a farm, a small farm, like a hydroponics farm, something that's super natural. And that stuff is so expensive. We were pricing it out. It was super expensive. So anyway, you mentioned that you were going to do a bank, and that got me super excited about it. And the cost of these things are very expensive, but they're so awesome to work with, and the stuff grows so fast, and you can feed so many people with this. So, and that's my goal, right? That the goal is to help people, help feed people, because they're talking about a huge food shortage right around the corner. So if there's food shortage around the corner, and there's me putting little farms around, because all over here where we live, they're big properties, 6.5 acres, like where I live, for instance, is 6.5 acres. Plus I have another 5.5 acres that's paid off. But the 6.5 acres I owe money on. But either way, I can grow stuff here, and I can actually feed a lot of people for cheap, because that would be my main goal. You know what I mean? Because all this inflation BS doesn't if we have the opportunity, to tap into the funds of the trust in a manner that you say we are able to, there's no limitations to. I mean, there's no poverty, man. We can end poverty. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Absolutely. You're not the only one who wants to do this hydroponics and greenhouse, and I know people that want to build underground so they grow mushrooms. I want a mushroom farm underground. I want to take steel containers and put them underground and grow mushrooms in them. Yeah, man, you can do that.
Man, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, the sky's the limits, man. And most people want to do like you're talking about. They want to do something to better mankind. I think that's where we're leading. I think that's where we're leading to. Yeah, it's totally capable, Tad's got his ideas. And it's great. Build these communities, man. These micro communities where you're self-sufficient. And you got 30, 40 people living in like the hippie communes,
Well, let's not go overboard.
Right. Hey, one more thing, man.
We had the Rainbow family here back in the late 80s. The Rainbow family. There was a commune way back in the hills here. a bunch of them, about 30 or 40 of them, Louis.
That's awesome. So I wanted to let you know that I'm also very prolific with languages. So I've learned. I speak multiple languages. I understand many others, and that I don't speak. So I'm very. I learn very easily, man. So if there is an opportunity for me to be part of this thinking idea, I would love to jump in it. And man, this would help so many people around me. It's not even funny.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So yeah, man, that would be an awesome thing. Just to think of being a banker and helping other people, like, and they don't have to pay it back. This is it's like a dream. It's like a dream for so many people that don't. Man, I drive around the road, and I'm here in Naples, right? And I see a lot of people, like homeless people. And there's all these people that when you pass by, they don't even recognize that they're over there, just sitting. You know, they're just asking for food, man. They're not asking for anything else. They don't really want your money. They just want to be hungry. And,
you can't eat dollar bills.
You can't. So I try to teach my kids. You know, every time I pass by those guys, I'm trying. You know, I'm like, listen, man. Every time I pass by these people and you have a full stomach, think of them because they don't. You know, so that's why I always give them $20 or give them some food or whatever. And I showed it to him, and I proved that to him because when I gave him this homeless guy a $20 bill, he automatically stopped asking for money and went directly to the diner to get food. Yeah. So, no, that was like a great lesson. Anyway, I wanted again to thank you guys for everything that you do. You guys are
thank you.
godsend.
Thank you for your kindness, man, and your compassion to your fellow man.
I mean, that's the least that I can do, man. I came from nothing. I'm originally from Brazil. I'm not supposed to be here. I came from the ghetto, okay, like the slums of Brazil, the favelas, if you know what I'm talking about. Man. I was rescued by an angel like you guys that brought me to the United States and gave me an opportunity to have a better life. And now I have a beautiful family. I have 3 beautiful boys, an awesome wife. I've been in the United States since I was 9 years old because of this angel that helped me, and I'm so grateful for everything in my life, man. It's
absolutely, man.
And that's anyway. I get a little emotional when I talk about.
Yeah, man, it's okay, man. It's okay.
All right. Well, listen. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, brother.
All right. So, you guys, if you would, check out our YouTube channel, You Have the Right site. Join the mailing list at youhavetheright.com, and feel free to join our monthly membership where most of these calls are broken down by subject. We really appreciate it. But I think we're going to call it a night, Chris, because we're kind of getting on. So, everybody, thank you for joining us. We really do appreciate it. And, again, join the mailing list, and you'll be notified of our next up-and-coming call. So thank you, and good night.
Peace and blessings.